You'll be the youngest?
Probably.
The public services, public hearing. Yeah. And these. Page 6.
Page 6. Page 7.
6 and
6. Public service. Boom, boom, boom. Thanks. That it? Nothing else I can do for you? No, we finally met for the first time in 2 years for our monthly Board of Realtors breakfast meeting.
Okay, good evening. Welcome. We'll call the meeting to order. Thank you for joining us. This is the Marion City Council meeting for Thursday, March 17th, 2022. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Roll call, please.
Mr. Harper,
Here.
Mr. Jensen,
Here.
Miss Atkins. Here. Mayor Abu-Wassely.
Here.
Mr. Brandt.
Here.
Miss Menzer. Here. Mr. Sterned.
Here.
Thank you. This time we have a moment of silence. Thank you. Okay, first on our agenda this evening, we have a proclamation honoring the 50th anniversary of the Older Americans Act Nutrition Program, and we have Kay Fisk here to accept it. And I've asked Councilmember Jensen to present the proclamation. Would you want to come up, Kay? And I know you want to say a few words afterwards, so.
Whereas 50 years ago, on March 22nd, 1972, President Nixon signed into law a measure that amended the Older Americans Act of 1965 to include a national nutrition program for individuals 60 years and older. Whereas for 5 decades, this landmark law has helped to fund community-based organizations like Meals on Wheels, and it is the only federal program designed specifically to meet the nutritional and social needs of older adults. Whereas this year, Meals on Wheels programs from across the country are joining together for the March for Meals awareness campaign to celebrate 50 years of success and garner the support needed to ensure these critical programs can continue to address food insecurity and malnutrition, combat social isolation, enable independence, and improve health for years to come. Whereas Meals on Wheels programs, both congregate and home delivered in Marion, Iowa, have served our communities admirably for 62 years. And whereas volunteers for Meals on Wheels programs in Marion, Iowa are the backbone of the program, and they not only deliver nutritious meals to seniors and individuals with disabilities who are at significant risk of hunger and isolation, but also caring, concern, and attention to their welfare. And whereas Meals on Wheels programs in Marion, Iowa provide nutritious meals to seniors throughout Marion, Iowa that help them maintain their health and independence, thereby helping to prevent unnecessary falls, hospitalizations, and/or premature institutionalization. And whereas Meals on Wheels programs in Marion, Iowa provide a powerful opportunity for social connection for millions of seniors to help combat the negative health effects and economic consequences of loneliness and isolation. And whereas Meals on Wheels programs in Marion, Iowa deserve recognition for the heroic contributions and essential services they have provided amid the COVID-19 pandemic and will continue to provide to local communities, our state, and our nation long after it is over. Whereas the senior population is increasing substantially, and action is needed now to support local Meals on Wheels programs through federal, state, and local funding, volunteering, donations, and raising awareness to ensure these vital services can continue to be delivered for another 50 years. Now, therefore, I, Steve Jensen, on behalf of Nicholas Aboasali, Mayor of the City of Marion, do hereby proclaim March 2022 as a month celebrating the 50th anniversary of the Older Americans Act Nutrition Program, and urge every community member to take this month to honor our Meals on Wheels programs, the seniors they serve, and the volunteers who care for them. Our recognition of and involvement in the national celebration can enrich our entire community and help combat senior hunger and isolation in America.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for reading that document. It's quite long and so I appreciate all the dialogue there. I'm going to talk just very briefly about our Meals on Wheels program. I know you never hear me talk about anything but NTS, but I can talk about other things too. And it's because I'm passionate about them. Our Meals on Wheels program in Cedar Rapids, Marion, and Hiawatha have been serving the community for, as this document says, 62 years. And so we're well known in the community. Without volunteers, we wouldn't be able to do the work we do. I looked up a few figures before I came in just so I could dazzle you here a little bit. And in the last year, our last calendar year, which is not, or I should say fiscal year, which isn't up till the end of June, we've served 2,005. No, let me start over again. Run that back. 259,466 meals. That's in our three communities here total. That's usually at an average of about 1,181 people a day. So out of the kitchen, if any of you have ever been in our our Meals on Wheels kitchen, you'll see that it's not very big. And we can crank a lot of meals out of there in a very short time. We're very lucky to have volunteers throughout the community, as I said, but we're also lucky to have elected officials that are very helpful too in coming out. In fact, Mayor Nick is going to be delivering meals next week with me, and he's done this before in the past. And we always have a great time. He knows more about how to get around Marion than I do, so he's a big help for me when we go out. I think one of the most important things about our meal delivery, not only the nutrition that's important, but it's the isolation. I found out firsthand about isolation during the pandemic. Starting on the 16th of March 2020, I started staying home and working from home. During the first few months of the pandemic, I really did not leave my house. I stayed right on my own property. And so from that day in March until it was right around the end of June that I just literally stayed home and was home all the time. My daughter bought groceries, put them on my deck. I went out to the deck, brought them in, put them away. We'd talk through the screen door and that was it. My neighbor and I would talk across our bushes together. I'd holler at the mailman out the window when it got warm enough. And that was it. And so it gave me a real glimpse into the life of older adults that are stuck at home all the time. And I had a job. I was working from home. So I was doing Zoom meetings. I was doing correspondence on the computer, doing phone calls and all that. And even with that, it was not that touchy-feely feeling that you have when you see people in person. So I truly understand that isolation and the need for that to have those volunteers in there on a daily basis. During the pandemic, you probably wonder, how did we manage to get the meals out there to all of our older adults? We started out at first just doing the hot meal as we'd been doing it all along. Then we decided to decrease the amount of contact that our volunteers and our clients had together, that we would start delivering frozen meals, and we'll do it just twice a week, and then it will reduce that contact. So that's what we started doing. But then we realized again that we were not going to have that human touch, if you will. So we did call people every day that we didn't personally deliver. We called them on the phone and visited with them. We probably spent more time on the phone visiting than we actually did when we were delivering the meals, just because you couldn't get away from them. They wanted to talk. And so we'd try to talk and make their day a bit brighter. Then the derecho came along, and it was like, oh my gosh, this affected everybody in every part of our community. And that was our first thought of how are we going to take care of these people? How are we going to know if they're all right? And, with communications the way they were, everybody, all of our staff, no matter what, who you were, what your job was, we just made efforts to go out and try to get to the people. And sometimes it was parking at the end of a block and walking several blocks to get to the door. We were so lucky. I'm not kidding you. It was throughout the whole community, both Cedar Rapids, Hiawatha, and Marion. We never had a client that had an injury. We didn't have a client that had a house that literally fell down or was so badly damaged that they couldn't live in it. But they did need a lot of assistance and a lot of help just getting back on their feet. So we did perform some minor tasks for them to get that going. And then during those early days, we made peanut butter. We didn't have any electricity, of course, at Horizons either. So we made peanut butter sandwiches and chips and fruit and stuff like that that could be delivered and still so they'd have something to eat. So we did that for almost 2 weeks just to keep things going until we got electricity again and food again, because we lost all of our food in all of our freezers. So we had to literally start over with food. It was an enormous amount of food that we had to throw away. But that happened to me. That happened to probably everybody in this room, that you had to throw away your refrigerator contents. So that just was the way it was. I'm going to close by telling you about one incident that happened. It was like, I believe in September of last year. Another person and I were delivering meals, and the route had gone fairly well. We were getting along. Neither one of us were people who deliver on a regular basis. And folks, that's another thing too. When we don't have enough volunteers to deliver, I mean, there just is either a phone call or an email that goes out and said, we need help on the dock. And we just get up from whatever we're doing and go deliver, because you can't just say, well, that's too bad, we'll get them tomorrow. We got to feed them that day. So these two, myself and this other person, were out, and the things were going quite well. We're almost to the end of the route, and we had a little lady that we were going to deliver to. Knocked and knocked and knocked on the door. She didn't come, and she didn't come. And finally, I just opened the door a little ways and just hollered in, hello, hello, Meals on Wheels. And I could hear just a little voice, and she said, oh, I'm over here, I'm over here. And so we went in, and here she had fallen, and she was trying to get up from the couch, and her walker was out in front of her, and she was reaching out to pull her walker in, and she fell forward, and of course she couldn't get up. She was a very tiny little thing, and there she was on the floor, face down, trying to get up, and she couldn't get up. So we hurried over, got her up on the couch, and I had her move her arms and legs and head and everything to make sure she wasn't injured. And she was okay. But think how long she could have laid there if we hadn't come along. If we hadn't delivered that meal, if we hadn't knocked on that door, she could have been there all day till the next day that we came to deliver. who knows? Her phone was clear over in another area where she couldn't have ever reached it. So this is an illustration right there of what more happens when you're doing the Meals on Wheels. It isn't just a meal. It isn't just the nutrition. It's the safety check. It's the human contact. It's all of those things combined that makes a Meals on Wheels program. And it's all the things that the money that we get from the Older Americans Act that was read here earlier, that this is what makes our meals possible. It's the largest part of our funding. We get it through Heritage. And it doesn't really change much from year to year. You'd be surprised. It stays very flat. And it's something that we are constantly lobbying for. I've been in DC several times lobbying for it. I work with our local legislators, our state legislators, and everybody fights for it, but it's a very, very difficult road to hoe. So we appreciate everything that our communities do for us. We appreciate it when you go out, and I appreciate it so much. It means a lot to me. It's really selfish because it means a lot to me because I know that you care. And I know that you're leaving something else that needs to be done. And so I thank you so very much, Mayor Nick, for doing that with me each year. Well, anytime I ask you, you always go. So thank you for reading the proclamation. Thank you for believing in what we do. And I'd ask, is there any questions anyone has?
I just want to say thank you, Kay, for your big heart and for everything that you do, and all your volunteers and your whole team, and the Heritage Agency also with the Encore Cafe. I know that your organization and Encore through the derecho and the pandemic have just been absolutely incredible in helping us take care of older adults here. So thank you.
A lot of recovery and a lot of souls out there that need help. So thank you so much.
Anyone else have anything? Thank you, Kay. Okay. Next on the agenda is a public forum, which is a time that is for public comments from members of the public on any topic that's listed on the agenda but not associated with the public hearing. Is there anyone to address the council? Okay. We'll close that part of the meeting and move on to the consent agenda.
Your Honor, I move to approve consent agenda as follows. Items A1 through G2, Resolution 30355 through 30376.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented, including items A1 through G2, resolutions 30355 through 30376. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved. For the next section, I will turn over the meeting to Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda with Mayor Abwasli's abstention as follows. Items E1 to F1, resolutions 30377, 30378.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda with Mayor Abwasli's abstention as follows. Items E1 through F1, resolutions 30377 through 30378. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. And we have one abstention. And we'll pass the meeting back to the mayor.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is a public hearing on a proposal to enter into an essential purpose loan agreement. Public hearing is open. And do we have a presentation, Leanne?
Thank you, Your Honor. Items A1 through A4 are actually all part of the General Obligation Bond Series 2022. So rather than doing 3 presentations, we'll do 1 at this public hearing. We do have Tiana Pooler here from Independent Public Advisors to present on this item.
Hi, Tiana. Thanks for being back with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Good evening, Mayor and Council. There is a presentation up there. I think that she's passing around the version that has my notes on them, just because sometimes you might forget what I said and you'll have my bullet points just instead of the overview. So this is just a little bit of an overview of your debt in general and some details on the 22A series. So the first slide is what your debt looks like right now. As of March 1st, you have about 91.1 million outstanding. You can see that most of that is being paid by your levy, but the purpose of the chart is to really let you see what all the different sources are for the payment of this debt. This does include the entire remaining amount of a couple of series of bonds you have that are to be paid by annual appropriation. So it's one of those things that capacity is calculated a little differently, but I wanted you to see that there are about 3.2 million in the 2019 B series, and that was for some annual appropriation items, and 3.62 million for the Genesis Equities Development Agreement. This does not include any of your smaller rebate agreements, though. So going on to the next slide, this is the 22A series. It's an estimated amount of about 10.8 million to be sold mid-April. It is estimated that the levy in 23 is around $300,000. What you'll see here is that the debt service is estimated at around 250,000, but just because rates change and we want you to be prepared, the levy, I think, would have included 300,000 for that fiscal year's payment. As was noted on the slide prior, the bonds are anticipated to fund various projects, including some improvements to 7th Avenue, sidewalk improvements, and so on. The debt service on the right will change based on actual rates on the day of sale. I have shown you what the impact is for every $100,000 of value for the homeowner. I think $168,700 is the median value according to the Census Bureau for Marion. So if that happened to be the value of your house, it would be an impact of about $32 in fiscal year 24 for someone who had that value. And then, if you wanted to calculate a different number, then every $100,000 is listed here. And this does include the assumption of about 3% annual growth in valuation. The next slide just shows you what the CIP looks like, not just for this issue, but those issues that are anticipated into the future through 2025. So you'll see how your debt is allocated between existing debt is the blue part. Then you have a little bit of interest on the disaster note. That's really hard to see because it's such a small portion of this. But then you have the orange part is this issuance in particular, and then the purple debt is future debt. And you can also see what the levy is anticipated to look like. And if charts aren't exciting to you, the next slide has the same information in more detail in tabular form. So trying to cover all bases depending on how you like to see things, but this is that same information. Looking again how this issue will impact your capacity then, the first set of charts was about your annual debt service obligation. This is just a look at what your capacity looks like. This does include those appropriation bonds that I mentioned. The thing I think to point out here is that your debt outstanding does exceed your policy limits by an average of $750,000 in 23 and 24. So this red line is your internal limit for your debt capacity. And you can see that we're just edging over it a little bit in 23 and 24. That is attributable to the disaster loan that you had to take out for derecho. So even though that's the case, your debt capacity is still quite manageable. Moody's has always looked upon you favorably. You have a AA1 rating. Capacity is one of those things. So even though you're exceeding your policy limit for very understandable, unforeseen circumstances, I would not be concerned that this is going to have any sort of credit impact, but I did want to be clear that that is the case for those couple of fiscal years. We are still talking about the 22B series related to uptown development. That's not included in this. If it did, then that number would go up by around $113,000. So wanted to be clear that that's excluded as we're still working those things out, but just sort of wanted to give you that picture. The same thing, page 6 is the detailed version of what I just discussed in graphic form. And I think you've already seen what the annual debt service looks like, and I am happy to answer any questions that you might have about this particular issue.
Questions?
Okay,
Any questions? Yeah,
all right, thank you.
thank you very much. Okay, do you have anything to add, Leanne, or?
The only thing that I would add is that is making the assumption that we borrowed 10 million on the disaster loan. That obviously is subject to change depending on FEMA reimbursement. And then on each slide actually states which projects go with that public hearing.
Okay, at this time, the public hearing before us is the proposal to enter into an essential purpose loan agreement. Are there any members of the public here to address council on that item? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. And I guess I'll just ask you for all of these, did we receive any comments outside the meeting?
I have not.
Okay. Please note that for the record. Okay, moving on to A2, we'll open the public hearing on the general purpose loan agreement. Any members of the public here to address council on that item, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close that public hearing. We'll move on to the next public hearing, which is the proposal to enter into an urban renewal loan agreement. Any members of the public here to address council on that item? Please come forward. Okay, we'll close the public hearing. Move on to the resolution.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 30379, taking additional action on proposal to enter into loan agreements, combining loan agreements, and providing for the levy of taxes to pay general obligation corporate purpose bonds, series 2022A.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30379. Taking additional action on the proposal to enter into loan agreements, combining loan agreements, and providing for the levy of taxes to pay general obligation corporate purpose bonds, series 2022A. Discussion? Okay, we'll vote. All those in favor of resolution number 30379, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion is approved. Next, we have a public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 2022-23 budget. Public hearing is open. Do you have the presentation, Leanne?
The proposed budget as presented includes 112.9 million in revenues and 119.9 million in expenses. While Marion did see a healthy increase in gross valuation over the past year, much of the growth has been offset by legislation at the state level. Changes in residential and multi-residential rollback and the phase out of commercial backfill have diminished Marion's property tax revenue growth by approximately $1.1 million. The city is experiencing an increase in operating costs with the opening of the new fire station #1 and the new library building, as well as accounting for airport. The state of the economy creates further challenges, causing increased costs due to inflation and a competitive labor market. The budget includes no new positions with a focus on retaining existing employees to ensure high-quality service delivery is maintained for our community. It includes bargain for wage increases, as well as a 3.5% wage increase for non-bargaining employees to ensure our organization can remain competitive in the labor market. The budget also includes some non-recurring investments that align with strategic plan initiatives. The proposed levy rate is 14.20,203, which is less than a penny increase from last year's 14.19976. Although this reflects a slight increase in the levy rate, the impact to residents is negative due to the state's rollback order. And on the next slide, I'll actually show these impacts. It is important to note that the rollback order changed from 56.41%, meaning property was taxed on 56.41%, and is now being taxed at 54.13% of its value. A property valued at $200,000 then would see a reduction in city taxes of $64. And then on the next slide, we'll actually show the impact on multi-residential and commercial. Multi-residential properties will see a greater decrease due to the eventual elimination of the multi-residential classification. Over the next few years, we're actually going to see that rollback percentage rate drop from the 63.75, which is projected in fiscal year 23, down to meet what is the residential rate. So the rollback dropping from 67.5 to 63.75 is a tax reduction of $451 on $850,000 in taxable valuation. And commercial property owners then would see an increase of $2 per 1 million in valuation. At the budget work session, the mayor requested the levies from the other taxing authorities. Especially since the city of Marion is but one piece of the property tax bill. The levy varies based on taxing districts, with the school districts playing the largest factor. These numbers were pulled from public hearing notices and could decrease as numbers are finalized. Marion's share of the overall property tax bill is 35 to 36%. Early estimations indicate the Marion Independent School District rate would land somewhere around 39.71, and the Linn-Mar School District rate land somewhere around $39.07, which is pretty consistent, staying around the $39 to $40.
That it?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Are there any members of the public here to address the council on this measure? Please come forward. Okay, did we receive any comments outside the meeting from members of the public?
I have not.
Okay, thank you. Please note that. Seeing no one's coming forward, we'll close the public hearing and move on to the resolution and any discussion by council.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 30380, approving the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. I believe the second was Councilmember Atkins. To approve approve resolution number 30380, approving the fiscal year 2022-2023 budget. Discussion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Yeah, could we put the slide up that showed the impact across the various property categories, again, commercial and the like? If we can just go back one more. So Leanne, that's what I'm just curious about there is, okay, so in all of all of these residential properties, they all go down this year, correct?
Yes, and this
Okay.
is assuming the valuation for their home stayed the same. That's
Okay.
important for you to remember that.
Okay, all right. Okay, I just wanted to have a good focus on that just as a benchmark. And I think you had commented also, there are some external factors that are contributors to all of this that we really don't have any direct control of. Sanitary sewer rates and other such things, I think, add into that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing to keep in mind that it's assuming that valuations stay the same, but valuations won't stay the same. I mean, well, the assessor has indicated they're not going to do anything with the valuations for this fiscal year, the 2022. But
Yeah, I would add, what's difficult about assessed values, it depends on what's going on with your home. Some homeowners may see a decrease.
Yeah.
Many will see an increase, especially with what's going
there
on with the
likely will be an
market.
across the board increase in the next year.
Yep.
So. Okay. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, we will vote. All those in favor of resolution number 30380, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 30381, amending the hotel motel grant program.
Moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30381, amending the hotel motel grant program. Discussion. Okay, all those in favor of resolution number 30381, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 30382, approving agreement with General Code LLC for recodification services, online code hosting, and supplemental services, and authorizing payment in the amount of $21,954.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30382, approving the agreement with General Code LLC for the recodification services, online code hosting, and supplemental services, and authorizing the payment of $21,954. Discussion. Yes, go ahead, Grant.
Yeah, Terrell, I, during the work session, had inquired about the data security provisioning that's wrapped around this cloud-based service. Can you give us an update on that, please?
Yes, yeah. I looked at the service, and what I determined is that it only houses public information that we already store other places as well. So everything they house is just public information. It's very low risk, this system. And to that note, they do not have a lot of security. They don't have third-party testing and those such things. They did indicate in their RFP that they do security hardening as well as their own internal testing. And so all we would really have there for our own data besides that public information is just our logins that we create for the speech staff that log in there. They do log those accesses for auditing purposes. And then they indicated that they do have use Amazon Web Services for their hosting provider, and they have that stored in several different geographical locations around the country. Backups daily, they could restore data within 24 hours. Almost likely say it would probably be 4 hours if something should happen to that. So essentially they'll take our data, they'll manipulate it, they'll revise it, they'll correct it, but we'll get a copy of that. It's not connected to any of our systems anyway. So if their system were to be reached, the most likely cause would effect would just be a defacing possibly, if that should happen, but they could never get into any of our systems due to that.
So you said this would be hosted at Amazon Web Services?
Yep.
Okay, so that makes me feel good because AWS has pretty robust native capabilities for information protection. So that's good.
Yep, it's good. And it really kind of comes down to how they apply that. And they do have their own in-house staff, their software engineers who do the security hardening and do that. So it's not like they're just, just people just doing code analysis. They actually have their own IT staff doing that. So.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussions? Question? Okay, all those in favor of approving resolution number 30382, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve Mayor Rob Wassley's recommended appointments for the Nuisance Enforcement Property Maintenance Advisory Board, Elizabeth Allen, term expiring 12/31/24, and Katie Keelholtz, term expiring 12/31/24.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the appointments of Elizabeth Allen and Katie Keelholtz to the Nuisance Enforcement Property Maintenance Advisory Board for terms expiring December 31st, 2024. Discussion.
Just have a quick question. What do the folks do that are on the advisory board, nuisance enforcement and property maintenance advisory board?
Your Honor, I can answer that since I
Please.
attend that board meeting.
Go ahead.
Essentially, what they do is they tend to review the overall policy and then we update them every month, the same update that you get from Matt Newhouse about the code enforcement issues. And occasionally we hear an appeal. So if we issue an order to abate and somebody disputes that they have a nuisance issue on their property, then it goes to the nuisance board. We recently moved over snow removal appeals there as well, just because it makes more sense to have the board look at it first. In the past, we've had the city manager do that. So the city manager was essentially both the judge and the jury on that, which didn't make a lot of sense. So nuisance board is looking at that. And then sometimes during the meetings, we'll talk about problem properties that are coming up and they'll have some creative ways that they can help the property owners. So.
Thank you.
Other discussion? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve a hold harmless agreement with St. Joseph's Catholic Church regarding St. Joseph Fun Days, June 3rd through the 5th, 2022 at St. Joseph's Catholic Church, 1790 14th Street.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the hold harmless agreement with St. Joseph's Catholic Church for St. Joseph Fun Days, June 3rd through 5th, 2022. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. All those opposed, say no.
Mayor, I need to note that I'll be abstaining from that item.
All right, so we have one abstention and the motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve a motion to approve a new liquor license for the following: St. Joseph Catholic Church, Fun Days, 1790 14th Street.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the new liquor license for St. Joseph Catholic Church Fun Days. Discussion. Will you be abstaining on this one also? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. All those abstaining say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have one abstention and the motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 30383, approving agreement with D.A. Davidson for underwriting services in relation to the offering and issuance of general obligation bond series 2022.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30383, approving the agreement with D.A. Davidson for underwriting services in relation to the offering and issuance of general obligation bonds series 2022. Discussion. Okay, all those in favor of resolution number 30383, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion is approved. For the next item, I will turn over the meeting to Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. We now have a public hearing regarding the demolition package associated with the Public Service Maintenance Facility. I have a presentation on this.
You bet. Thank you, Your Honor. The city of Marion solicited bids for the demolition package for the new public services facility. As you're aware, it was damaged during the derecho show back in 2020. The city received 4 qualified bids. We are going to recommend Schrader Excavating. They put a bid in for a credit of $100 due to the scrap value of the steel. The way the package is put together, work will start April 1st. They are allowed 60 days to remove the facility, but we think we'll go much quicker than that. So, any questions?
Thank you. We'll get to questions from council on the next item. So now we will open the public hearing. If there is anyone here to speak in favor, please come forward to the podium. Anyone opposed, please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 30384, approving bids and awarding contract to Schrader Excavating for demolition package associated with the Public Services Facility in a credit amount of $100.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded to approve resolution 30384, approving bids and awarding contract to Schrader Excavating for the demolition package associated with the Public Service Facility in a credit amount of $100. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, please say no. And we have one abstention. I'll move the meeting back to the mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have a public hearing on the 2022 pavement patching project. Public hearing is open, and do we have a presentation, Mike?
Yes, sir. So we have we received 4 bids for this project. The low bid came in from Eastern Iowa Excavating at $727,723.30, 94.77% of the engineer's estimate. There's 4 streets that we're doing this on. So this is the full depth patch removal, and then diamond grinding the surface to make it smooth, similar to what we've done on 31st and 3rd Avenue. So it has a late start date of 8/1/22, 40 working days and $500 per day. And we are recommending proceeding with Eastern Iowa Excavating.
Okay, thank you. Any members of the public here to address council, either in favor or in opposition to this measure? Please come forward. Have we received any comments outside the meeting?
We have not.
Okay, please note that for the record. And we'll close the public hearing. Grant?
Yes, put my glasses on, sorry. Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 30385, accepting bids and awarding contract to Eastern Iowa Excavating and Concrete LLC regarding the 2022 pavement patching project in the amount of $727,723.30.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30385, accepting bids and awarding the contract to Eastern Iowa Excavating regarding the 2022 pavement patching project in the amount of $727,723.30. Discussion. Questions for staff? Okay. All those in favor of resolution number 30385, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion is approved. Next, we have a public hearing for the 2022 Lau Park Roadway Overlay Project. Public hearing is now open. Is that you, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
All right, so for this one, we had 1 bid from LL Pelling at $147,277.50, just underneath the engineer's estimate at 99.27%. So they have several weekends that they can work on this project, or during the week that they can. And they have 15 working days to complete the project, and there's liquidated damages in the amount of $300 per day. So the dates that were chose were based around events going on at Lau Park, because obviously there's a few events. So trying to squeeze us in between those.
Okay, thank you. Any members of the public here to address council, either in favor or in opposition of this measure? Please come forward. Okay, received comments outside the meeting?
We have not, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please note that for the record. We'll close the public hearing and I'll turn over the meeting to Mayor Pro Tem for the resolution, as well as the next 2.
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve resolution number 30386, accepting bids and awarding contract to LL Pelling Company, Inc. regarding the 2022 Lau Park Roadway Overlay Project in the amount of $147,277.50.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30386, accepting bids and awarding contract with LL Pelling Company Incorporated regarding the 2022 Lau Park Roadway Overlay Project in the amount of $147,277.50. Discussion. I do have one question. Is this from 10th Street all the way, the whole parking lot, or so the roadway up to 10th Street is
The
also?
roadway
included?
and the parking lot.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Any other, nothing? All right, let's vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. And we have one abstention, motion carries.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve resolution number 30387, approving the contract and bond with Peterson Contractors Incorporated regarding the Indian Creek Trail Project and authorizing payment in the amount of $1,719,592.32.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30387, approving contract and bond with Peterson Contractors Incorporated regarding the Indian Creek Trail Project and authorizing payment in the amount of $1,719,592.32. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. We have one abstention. The motion carries.
Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve resolution number 30388, approving contract and bond with LL Pelling Company Incorporated regarding the 2022 HMA resurfacing project and authorizing payment in the amount of $1,025,438.25.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30388, approving contract and bond with LL Pelling Company Incorporated regarding the 2022 HMA resurfacing project and authorizing payment in the amount of $1,025,438.25. Any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. And we have one abstention. Motion carries, and I will pass it back to the mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the project calendar regarding the 2022 sanitary sewer manhole project. This will include resolution numbers 30389 through 30391.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the project calendar for the 2022 sanitary sewer manhole project, including resolutions 30389 through 30391. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve project calendar regarding the 2022 sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation project as follows. Resolutions 30392 through 30394.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the project calendar for the 2022 sanitary sewer manhole rehabilitation project, which includes resolutions 30392 through 30394. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I make a motion to receive and file the Traffic Advisory Committee TAC memo regarding speed limit on 6th Avenue from 15th Street to 27th Street.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to receive and file the Traffic Advisory Committee memo regarding speed limit on 6th Avenue from 15th to 27th Streets. Discussion. All those in favor of the motion to receive and file, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion is approved.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve ordinance number 22-05, amending chapter 63 of the Code of Ordinances establishing the speed limit on 6th Avenue as 35 miles per hour from 15th Street to 27th Street. Initial consideration.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the initial consideration of ordinance number 22-05, amending chapter 63 of the Code of Ordinances, establishing the speed limit on 6th Avenue as 35 miles per hour from 15th to 27th Streets. Discussion. All those in favor of ordinance number 22-05, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. Motion's approved.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 30395, approving a permanent sanitary sewer easement agreement with Donna G. Riley Trust, Linda Grant McComber, and Christopher Brannon, and David D. Grant Trust regarding the Indian Creek and Dry Creek sanitary sewer project. This will be segment 7 and authorizing payment in the amount of $32,830.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30395, approving permanent sanitary sewer easement agreement with Donna G. Riley Trust, Linda Grant McComber, and Christopher Branham and David D. Grant Trust regarding the Indian Creek Dry Creek sanitary sewer project segment 7 and authorizing the payment of $32,830. Discussion. All those in favor of resolution number 30395, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion's been approved.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 30396, approving a temporary easement for construction agreement with Donna G. Riley Trust, Linda Grant McComber, and Christopher Branham and David D. Grant Trust regarding the Indian Creek and Dry Creek sanitary sewer project, segment 7, and authorizing payment in the amount of $9,130.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30396, approving a temporary easement for the construction agreement with Donna G. Riley Trust, Linda Grant McComber, and Christopher Branham and David Grant Trust regarding the Indian Creek and Dry Creek sanitary sewer project, segment 7, and authorizing the payment in the amount of $9,130. Discussion?
Quick question.
Yes.
So on Tuesday, you said this was the final easement that was needed, correct?
Correct.
And so when do you anticipate construction on this to start?
So we are planning on letting it either the fall or winter of this year. We still need to get final construction plans put together, but this way we have all the property acquired.
Excellent, thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution number 30396, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. The motion is approved.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to remove from table resolution number 30351, approving Boulevard Apartments final site development plan located at 610 and 648 Marion Boulevard, Marion, Iowa, and this is brought by Talon LLC.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to remove from the table resolution number 30351, approving the Boulevard Apartments final site development plan. Discussion on removing from the table. Okay, I'll just note that I'm going to vote no, just to explain why the reason we tabled it was to see some additional options for materials on the building. I don't think there was much change from the first iteration. I know I'm in the minority on that, but that's my view. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion to remove from the table resolution 30351, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
No.
No. So that's 2 no's. The ayes have it, and the motion is removed from the table.
Your Honor, I move to approve resolution number 30351, approving Boulevard Apartments final site development plan located at 610 and 648 Marion Boulevard, Marion, Iowa. Talon LLC. This was tabled 3/3 of 22.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30351, approving Boulevard Apartments final site development plan. Discussion.
Your Honor.
Yes.
So on that prior resolution to remove from table, I voted no. My specific reason for that is similar to what the mayor said. It seemed to me that given the discussion we had at our prior council, I thought there was a pretty strong sentiment conveyed to see about what could be done somewhat aggressively for that being a gateway location. On this particular resolution, however, at the risk of seeming a bit contradictory, I'm going to vote in favor because I understand the fact that there is full compliance with our zoning requirements for this particular property. I guess we've had these discussions over the last year and a half that I've been as part of council is having a higher expectation for some of our primary corridors and our gateway locations to the city. And so while there's been a positive step in this regard for this development, I just think that going forward, we should figure out a way to be a little bit more aggressive in conveying what our expectations are as we further develop the city. So I just wanted to, I guess, expose that potential contradiction and but the basis of my thinking.
Other discussion? Okay, for my part, I'll just say, I mean, I expressed this the last time. I'm appreciative of the developer being here. We want developers to do projects here. We want them to do well, but we want them to also consider the city's motto of reaching higher. And while I think this, I've said from the beginning, several meetings ago, I think this is a good project for this site. It's certainly better than what's there. But I don't think that that is our standard of just getting better than what's there. I think, you know, for the entryway to our city, I think we're kind of settling, and that's just my view. I think that we should expect more on this site. I hope I'm proven wrong with the materials being used, how it's going to look. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the motion to approve resolution number 30351, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. No. We have one no, and the motion is approved.
Mayor, I move to approve resolution number 30397, approving a final site development plan for Scooters Coffee drive-through for property located at 1010 62nd Street, Marion, Iowa, B&C Coffee LLC.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve resolution number 30397, approving the final site development plan for Scooters Coffee drive-through. Discussion.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
I do just want to comment based on work session, the automobile queuing plan that was presented for this, I thought really set a nice standard for us to see in other locations to the degree there's sufficient property. So I just thought that was a good feature that was brought forward.
Other discussion?
There it is.
Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of resolution number 30397, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say no. Motion is approved. This time we have a public forum, time set aside for comments from members of the public on any item. Anyone here to address council? Charlie, come on forward. You state your name and address.
Councilpersons and Mayor, my name is Charlie Knutson and I live at 2835 24th Avenue, Marion. With today being St. Patrick's Day, I would like to offer an old Irish blessing to all in attendance here and all watching on Zoom. May good luck be with you wherever you go, and your blessings outnumber the shamrocks that grow. May your days be many and your troubles be few. May all God's blessings descend upon you. May peace be within you. May your heart be strong. May you find what you're seeking wherever you roam. The color of today is green. So I thought I would take some time to share with you comments from several people who also like the green color, especially green space. 3 weeks ago, the Gazette published my guest column that spoke to the discussions that are or will be going on in Marion regarding potential changes to the Marion Square City Park. Not knowing if you saw the article or have seen the comments posted on Facebook, I decided to copy and print those comments and would like to present them to the council and the mayor for your review. May I please come forward and present the document to the mayor?
I think you can give them to the clerk and then she'll
Okay.
distribute them if you don't mind.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Anyone else here to address the council? All right, then we'll move on to council comments. And this is a rare occasion when we don't have a closed session. Seems like we've had a number of them recently. So, okay, we'll start with Grant.
Well, as my oldest son, who spent a lot of time conducting pep bands in the Big 12, schooled me. He said, you don't have to watch a Big 12 basketball game until about the last 5 to 6 minutes. So I took his advice today and I actually tuned in at about 7 minutes. And I will just have to say, I was not overly enthralled with the officiating that we observed. And I am just glad that I guess I shouldn't say just glad. I should just say, I really hope that we don't endure that again in any kind of championship play. Anyway, just a comment about the game.
Steve?
Yeah, so last week we had our State of the City address by our mayor. And I'd just like to at least pass on not only my compliment, but a number of other compliments that I received from other people that were there. Basically, the compliment is really all about the work, the preparation, and the message that was put into his delivery and his speech. So very powerful, very well done.
I was going to say the same thing, Steve, but the mayor did a wonderful job. And I also had several people come up to me afterwards and say how great the speech was. And I thought your jokes were funny. A lot of people didn't, but I thought that they were on brown nosing a little bit.
Echoing again, thank you, Mayor, and for the staff that helped put that event on. It was a great representation of this community. The videos, and watching and sharing those were just so wonderful to watch and reflect on, and kind of brings tears to your eyes when you're so happy and how much people love our community. So thanks for all the hard work you put into it, Mayor. I know you spend a lot of time and thoughtfulness in your remarks, and it's not easy to stand in front of folks for 45 minutes almost and try to capture everything going on in this great community. So thank you for that. Thank you for those that helped with that as well.
Thank you. Nice tan. It's nice to have you back, and I know it was a well-deserved vacation, so glad you got to do that. I want to thank everyone who was gracious with their comments. The State of the City, to me, is an opportunity to speak on behalf of all of us, our entire team. And I do see it that way. And I put a lot of time into it because it is our opportunity to celebrate everything, all the hard work that everyone's doing throughout the year. It's that one chance we get to really just sit for an hour and reflect on everything that we're doing. And and when I say in the speech that no one does anything on their own, no one does anything on their own. This is a team effort. It's a group effort. And it's not hard to put together. I mean, speech takes a lot of time, but it's not hard to put it together when there's so many good things to share. And there's so much progress and so many good stories to share. And I walked around to all the tables of our city staff beforehand and said, this is your day, it's your celebration. And I really meant that. And I'm very honored and proud to every year to get the chance to stand up there and share our story with everyone. And I hope that it makes everyone feel good, because that's what I intend. I want everyone to feel like they're part of something bigger than the daily tasks that we each do every day, that we're part of creating something really special here in Marion for people. And a lot of emotion goes into writing that speech. And it's also intended to get investors and people thinking of coming to Marion and doing business in Marion, get them to feel the momentum that we have, that we're experiencing. And it's a very exciting time for Marion. And that event really just is the opportunity for me to share that with everyone and to let everyone know what's going on here. And so I really appreciate the positive reactions and the gracious comments, and the congratulations go to the whole team. So with that brings us to the conclusion. We'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you for joining us.